Happy New Year! We've got blogger and influencer Lenny Izquierdo in to discuss which resolutions to make if you're inspired to find love. We'll also share our own New Year's resolutions, and we'll talk about the hottest things in fashion for 2019. While we sip on our nightcap, pop it like it's hot tonight on It's Complicated.
You're listening to It's Complicated with your hosts Jennifer Golden and Lauren Leonelli, coming to you live from the AfterBuzz TV studios in Los Angeles, California.
Hello, Master Daters, and Happy New Year. Welcome back for another episode of It's Complicated.
The struggle is real when you're dating in the city.
I'm Jen.
And I'm not Jen.
Still. It's
2019, still not Jen.
No, and I love, though, that we had a listener named Moore who actually addressed you as not Jen via social media.
It's because I'm not Jen.
Right. I actually thought about changing it today and being not Lauren.
Oh, then what would I have done?
You'd be Lauren.
Had to be Lauren.
Or you would just also be not Jen. Because we're not each other.
Oh, we're not. Oh, with that, yeah, we could. Well, we could try that out, but I'm not ready to jump out of the race of not Jen. I'm still in the not Jen race.
I love it. We should make shirts that are Jen and not Jen.
Not Jen and not Jen.
Like you know the shirts are like
I'm with stupid.
Right, or like thing one and thing two.
Yeah, those are,
Okay.
Jen and not Jen is so much better.
Obviously.
But nothing's better than who our guest today, because we're really, really pumped to kick the new year off with Lenny Izquierdo. So we have her, and she is a blogger and an influencer, and we have her in to discuss how to make resolutions if you're inspired to find love. If you're not, then great. But if you are, some people, this is the thing. Some people are just okay and great being single and living in it. Some of these resolutions can work for you if you're just trying to like love yourself and all that. But if you're like actually seeking out to like be in a committed relationship, or that's one of your resolutions, we're going to give you some tips about how to form these resolutions in order to get to finding love potentially in 2019.
It also might help you heighten the love you already have.
Or that. Exactly.
Exactly.
For all of the complications that come with dating and relationships. We're going to talk about our resolutions as well. And we are going to discuss the trending fashion pieces to look out for to make you feel extra hot when you're out on your date or being single or with your man or woman or whatever you're doing.
Or dog, like
Lenny
I am.
is going to help us kind of decipher like how to use some of these trends are a little, I don't know if I can get on board with it, but we're going to make them happen for you in real life.
Mm-hmm. And as we mentioned, guys, so Lenny is a fashion, lifestyle, and travel influencer and blogger. She was born in Guatemala and now lives in sunny Los Angeles. She wants to inspire others through not only her styles, but her life experiences, which is just what she's going to do here today.
You guys, something you might not know is that Lenny grew up in the foster care system, and she just kept moving from foster home to foster home until she put herself through college, which is so admirable and amazing, and just proves that you know, it doesn't really matter like where you come from. If you have a goal and you want to get there, you could probably make it happen. Everybody's story is different, so we think that's exciting that she's very inspirational. And because of her upbringing, she doesn't want her blog posts and Instagram page to be all about the pretty pictures. It's like, it's very real. And she wants to bring meaningful content to her readers and her followers. And in fall of 2019, she will be launching a small clothing brand that will support foster youth. So look out for that. It's very exciting.
I love when people give back.
Oh,
it's
yeah,
my favorite.
No, it's I mean, and that's what you want when you're, following somebody and you like, they inspire you like Lenny does for so many people. Like it's what in return can you get besides the connection and all the other things? It's like, how can you then do the things that Lenny's doing in your own way?
Well, I also think like influencer life now is like a whole different world of like, it's a different industry, basically. And the fact that a lot of people just post pretty photos and they don't really do anything with their platform, and they're famous for like, I'm not really sure, maybe just filters, but and like pretty clothes and stuff, and like living in LA is a really nice backdrop. So congrats for living in a place.
Right.
But the fact that someone like Lenny can give back through what she's doing, like she actually uses her platform for good versus evil. is
or
really
just for
inspiring.
nothing, like, or just being there, which, I mean, great, cute pictures, and Lenny has a bunch of cute pictures too, but also other things.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we love Lenny.
Yes.
And it's cute that her Instagram handle is Love,
Love
Lenny.
Lenny.
But before we get into everything, guys, it's time for our nightcap.
Yes.
Pop it like it's hot.
It's the new
Champagne.
year. It's the new year.
And obviously, this is our first show of the new year, and we're coming in hot to discuss, all of our resolutions and things. We have to drink the champs, and we found it fitting to pop the cork as we pop into the new year.
Yeah,
with a bang of inspiration and love.
And also, I drank like most of mine
I
already.
know you're thirsty or something.
It's, I'm tie.
Are you, or is it because you have news and you're still cheersing to yourself?
Oh, well, yeah, I guess I do have some news. I got engaged. It's weird to say still.
I know, it's weird.
It's so weird.
It's
And
weird.
people say like, oh, is it, or I mean, not to me personally, but people have asked like in the world, is it different? Does it feel different? It does actually feel different. And
What does it feel
for
like?
me, because it feels like everything now feels permanent. Like, I wanted to marry James and I wanted to be with him and all of that. And the thought about having kids with him and being with him for the rest of my life, like that was all thoughts in my head. But now that's like this milestone has occurred, like it feels official. Like now it's like, whoa, that is like, this is real. Like this is happening. This is going to is what it is. It's not bad, but it just feels more permanent, I guess, even though it didn't, not before. It's not like I was like, well, until he puts a ring on it, I just don't know if I'm really in it. Like,
yeah, living together wasn't really that
it
either.
just like, I guess it just made it that much more official and more permanent, I guess.
And it's like setting the wheels in motion for
Yeah.
like those like more serious things to come, I
because
guess.
now I can say it out loud. Like when we get married, now I
Right.
can like say it.
You're not just a crazy girl
I'm not
that's
just
like hoping for it.
in my head. So that all happened. We went back to the place that we had our first date at, which we talked about on this show
Yep.
3 years ago when I said it's the best first date I've ever been on in my life.
Because it was literally 3 years ago because you
Yes.
went out right after New Year's.
Yes. So it was tomorrow, actually. It's 3 years.
Amazing.
So I didn't even think about that till right now, but it just happened. So he took me to our first date place, to the table that we sat at, because it was like a very specific table. And then it was kind of in like a private area, so there wasn't a lot of people around. We ate dinner, and then he gave me this fortune cookie that he opened up a year ago at a dinner, and it said, like, stop searching forever, happiness is next to you, something to that effect. And he said he'd been wanting to give it to me, and then he stood up out of his chair and everything went black.
That's what everyone says about
Yes.
engagements or proposals.
He doesn't even really remember, although he wasn't nervous. And then I was very nervous and like shaky and emotional, but it wasn't until like 10 minutes later that the emotion set in, and I just cried, like wept. It was just, I don't know. He was probably like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Are you now questioning things? It was just a lot of emotion that finally set in. And then we had a New Year's party. So we rang in the New Year's with all of our friends,
Including
at our
me.
place, and Jen. And it was mellow but fun. And it was a pajama party because, like, it's cold.
It is cold. And
LA.
also, like, it's just like you, after the holidays, like, you're so lazy. Like, you really want to go
Yeah.
get, like, I'm just like winding down, and then all of a sudden I get dressed again. And
Yeah, and like I feel like a house party, I mean, unless it's like a fancy house, which we do not have, then it's like weird to be all fancy and like.
no, I could have gone dressed
I mean,
up
we
to that.
could have, but I'm just like, I'm like holiday fooded and like just put on some comfy clothes and like do this stuff.
Well, we did it, and it was
Yeah.
a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And also, you were an emotional person that day, but I was also emotional the day you got engaged because I had to keep the secret from you.
She knew.
I knew at our show where we had Sean Breathwaite on.
Yes.
And I had to keep it from you because James called me on my way here and was like, what's this about your podcast? Now you're pre-recording another one the next day. That's the day. I'm like, the day?
Yeah, it was like his plans for the engagement were not working with our podcast schedule, and he didn't know that. And when he found out that we had a podcast on the night he wanted to propose, he called Jen like, what the fuck, Jen?
And I was like, I'll make it happen so fast. And then I sat by my phone like a crazy person
I
waiting for
texted
you to text me.
like right away. I think you were
Thank
the
God.
first person I texted.
I had, honestly, I was like falling asleep. I was like, why hasn't it happened yet? But also,
It did, but then and then also it happened in like 10 minutes after it happened, and I cried a bunch. Then I said, does Jen know? That was like the first. It wasn't does my mom and dad know?
Well, obviously they knew. James had told me I would be the third person to know, but that's not true. He meant like third being he would know, you would know, and then I would know. But obviously your mom, dad, all the people knew.
You were like
But I was close enough to, we'll just say I was the third person to know.
Yes, it was.
Well, actually I knew before you.
You did know.
So that makes me happy again. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Can I say, guys, I only have one issue with this engagement, and that's that no guy will ever be able to get a ring as nice as Lauren Leonelli.
Why don't you show everybody?
It's
that is
so
watching.
nice.
I don't know how to.
I think I can zoom in if you. Wait,
Okay.
I'm gonna
you have
try
it?
this.
Should I just hold it? Everyone that's listening.
Hold it. Cut to Lauren or cut to Jen for a sec. Let me see if I can do this real quick. Jen, say something.
Hi, here I am.
Oh, you know what? Post
I'm
it on,
less excited.
It's on Instagram, guys. Go to
Yeah.
Lauren's Instagram.
Yeah,
Exactly.
go to my
Amazing.
Oh,
Instagram.
Jeff, why don't you bring up her Instagram?
Oh, duh.
Obviously.
It's there. He did a very good job. Lynn Hill in the Bay Area, who is my aunt, designed it and made it with him, and she knew what I wanted because I sent her pictures of diamonds for my whole entire life. So
Yeah,
she
so
was
she
like,
was
and the
prepared.
second he called, she was like, "I got it," and he was like, "No, no, no, but I want to be part of it." She's like, "No, no." I got it. I don't fucking need you. Let me just make it. Anyway, it was a thing.
I hope that you're part of my ring one day. Like, get it made for me.
Yeah, I will.
Because he needs help, whoever he is.
Yeah, he will. It's the thing.
I'm meeting him this year, though. So
We
that's
do.
happening.
We got it covered.
But real quick, also, I mean, who cares what happened to me? Nothing really. But more importantly about you and your engagement, well, thank God that that happened because that solidifies that one of us, at least on this show, is an expert in finding love and keeping it.
I mean, it's still a challenge. There are
Yeah.
still things that happen. But yeah, I mean, I do really feel like this is like forever. I can't ever imagine. There's just no. It's gonna. Yeah. No,
This is
that's
amazing.
it.
And you are a testament to working on yourself because you do that and you make
Yeah.
a point to do it. You do all the work and we talk about it. And so that's why this show, especially that we're starting the new year off with your engagement and your advice too for how to find love and be inspired to find love and all of the things. Because
constantly
Lauren
changing.
did it. She is a testament to doing the things.
That it's real
You're
and that
proof.
could happen.
Exactly. So she's an expert. I'm just here to talk to her.
No, that's not true.
Yeah,
Come on now.
I'm just here to drink.
Yeah. Oh, and I am too. Thank God.
Well, I decided you're the straight man and I'm the funny man.
Oh, okay.
But I don't really say a whole lot of interesting things. I just say funny things.
I am the straight man.
Right.
It's true. I'm so boring.
No,
Sometimes.
but you actually inspire and educate people. I'm just here to talk about nonsense.
No, that's not true at all. You
It's
have,
okay.
you
I have a
things
lot
to
of
say.
fun.
Well, we had fun on New Year's Eve, so
We did. You fell asleep though. I watched it.
12:30.
I was like, Lauren, you're going to
There
sleep.
was a
If Lauren's going to
blankie-
sleep, I'm going home.
There was a blankie and a couch, and that's goodbye.
People though were still partying around you.
Oh yeah, no, I didn't even.
Didn't matter.
Nope.
And you were in jammies, so like, who cares?
It was like, duh.
Duh.
It was gonna. I was gonna go down so fast.
It's okay. Well, I spent New Year's Day, by the way. The only thing that really matters is me day. It was like super me day.
Yeah, you did a good thing,
All
which
the
I think
things.
is going to go into
Yes.
what we are going to talk about that inspires the inspirational resolutions to help you find love. Like a lot of the stuff you did is very much like,
Totally.
even though it's not what you think, it's not like go on a dating app for an hour a day. It's none of this. It's
No,
very
we'll get there.
different than that. Yeah.
Exactly. And guys, we're going to introduce you to our guest because it's time. She's inspired and hopes to inspire you guys today. She also has been in love and has a lot to say about that. So welcome to the studio, Lenny Izquierdo. Hi.
Hi guys, thank you for having me.
Of
I'm so
course.
excited to be here.
We are so excited to have you. It's like so perfect for the new year to like just toast it off and talk about all of our resolutions. We love you. Really, really are so inspiring, and we feel like that's what you need to come from when the new year starts. Like a very inspirational, self-reflective place. Your Instagram is so inspirational.
You always
and-
post great
yeah.
quotes
Yeah.
Thank
and
you.
things. So we're just going to dive right in because one of the things that we think, like when people make resolutions and we say you're inspired to find love, what we really probably like think is the best thing to do is make resolutions for yourself that make you the best version of yourself so that you radiate love and will attract the best version of somebody else. You don't want to be in a shitty place and attract a shitty person.
Exactly.
Or
wanna
you
be in a
will. Well, you
good-
will. Yeah, you will do that. Right.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I'm all about right now.
But was there an inspiring moment that possibly opened you up to
I
that?
mean, your life is full of inspirational moments, but in this current more topical moment.
Yeah, you were in a relationship for quite some time.
I was, which I'm so excited to actually talk about it because I haven't really been open about it. But yes, I was in a relationship for 8 years with Steve. He's amazing. He's literally like the dream guy that you could ever dream about. I met him when I was 17, so I was so young. I was a baby, and I was in foster care. So I was literally moving from home to home when I met him. I had just moved into a new home at that point, like a week before I met him. So my life was all over the place. I didn't know how to love. I didn't know whether I could get attached to someone, let alone a guy. So he came at the right time. Like I needed to have him in my life at that moment. He's my best friend. He still is. He's definitely my person. But when you date someone for so long, and me being so little, and not kind of I was still trying to find who I was and like my place in the world and everything. I kind of dependent on him so much, and he became my rock. So everything I did, everything I needed to do in life, like he was always there for me. So I think in like end of August and beginning of September, I went to Mexico trip with Telemundo, and that was like a big deal for me because it was working with a big company, and I was by myself. I went with a few influencers, guys and girls. And I was just alone, and just being out there alone made me feel like it was like a different side of me, and I could do so much more. And I felt like we're keeping each other from growing, because he was my rock, and then I kind of was his rock as well. I feel like we needed to have this break to figure things out on our own. So then when I came back from the trip, I talked to him, and it was one of the toughest situations, toughest conversation I have ever had with anyone. And I told him we were engaged, so it was like not even.
Oh my God,
yeah,
you
we're
were?
engaged. Yeah, so we were engaged. We
Oh.
got engaged in February 2017. So we're engaged. We're living together. We had been living together for like 5 years at this point. We have a dog together, which is like our son. So it was a really hard conversation to have. But I knew that I felt it in my gut. I felt it in my heart that I needed to like break this engagement off. He needed to grow on his own, and I needed to do the same thing. But it was hard, but I did it. And I think that's one of the hardest things for us to do, especially girls, because we're always on our feelings.
And we're trying to take care of people all the time too, so we feel bad.
Exactly.
And we don't want to make the wrong choice. And I think that that's the biggest fear most people have. But I will subscribe to, if it's meant to be, it will come back. But I think it's a really big thing, especially in LA, like the fear of letting go of something you have, like you're secure in, for the unknown is terrifying.
Oh my God. But I mean, I feel like you have done a lot of that your whole life, like leaving where you were born and where you came from, and like constantly moving from home to home. Like you've been able to adapt to things and have to face fears constantly, probably. So although I'm sure it was very scary and a new sort of fear, like you still knew that you were equipped to be able to like roll with the punches, even though it's like devastating.
Exactly. And I feel like that's exactly what I felt like as the whole process was going. I was like, I can do this. Like I've been homeless. I've been from home to home. I can do this. This is just like a breakup. And I did. And, we talked, and I think for the first time he like really understood, like, okay, I get it. Like I need to let you go. I need to keep growing myself. Like he quit his job to be my full-time photographer, so he became my life, and we became one person, which I don't think that's healthy in a relationship. I think you definitely have to be two individual persons and then be together as together. But I think he became me. Like I kind of took the light out of him of what he was, because it became all about Lenny. Like, what does Lenny need to do for her job? Where does Lenny need to travel to? I'll be there.
And when you took this trip to Mexico, you felt like you were being an individual, and you could see it finally. Like, oh wait, this is what could happen, and it wasn't just a decision for you; it was for him too.
Exactly. Yeah. So that was my like moment.
Your turning point.
My turning point for me to see that, and then I noticed that he had let go a lot of his stuff, like his dreams and stuff, to be, to be in law enforcement, all that stuff for me. So I felt selfish, because I felt like, okay, what if we, get married in 2 years and we divorce, things happen, and he just gave up like all his, he's 28, so like all his 20s for me. So I realized like I need to stop being selfish, and I need to let him go, because I feel like I'm going to grow more if I do that. So that, I broke off the engagement in October, in September, which was hard because we still live together, and that was the most.
How did you what? Okay, so this is probably a very common situation for people that can't just move out right away. Like, we live in a city; it's expensive to live here.
So expensive at this point.
You can't just be like, okay, we're broken up. I have to move out now. Like, even if you could afford to do it, like you got to find a place that's open? Like, it takes time. What did you do in the in-between time?
It was extremely hard because for me, I like wanted to experience life. So like we broke up. I broke up with we broke up in September, but like 2-3 days after I was dating already, which is way too fast for me
Wait,
to
but
do.
also, why did you want to like start dating so quickly? Were you just like, it's the relationship I don't want, or you wanted a new relationship, or you didn't want to be alone?
I didn't want to be alone, which was the wrong reason why I was dating. And I made a lot of mistakes in the whole month because I went on like 6 dates in a month, which to me that was a lot.
Yeah.
That's a week for me.
But like right out of a relationship, I mean, you just went in hard, but you didn't realize that that's what it was, that you wanted to be. You just felt like you thought you were ready.
Yeah, I thought I was ready. I started seeing this guy who we became extremely close, and I was like, oh, I like this guy a lot. Like it's different than my ex, and it's perfect. But I went in thinking I wanted a relationship. I went in with that mentality that okay, I want to live, I want to grow up, I want to explore life. But I'm not that person. I'm not. I haven't. Steve was my first boyfriend, so I'm not used to dating. I'm not used to the new 2018, 2019 dating world.
Yeah.
So I went in dating this guy, and he wasn't ready, and I wanted to be like in a relationship, like official, and like I don't want you to talk to other girls. I'm not going to talk to other guys, which I kind of was. So I wasn't really giving him his like place in my life. And I right away, like 2 weeks after, I realized like, okay, this is like unhealthy. So then I started dating other people, like like being open. But even that was hard because I was doing it because I was lonely. Mm-hmm. So there were times that I dated, certain guys, and they were like, okay, I'll plan a whole day for you. And, they would do like a museum night or a picnic, and it was super sweet. And then I would just forget that I had planned it. So then I would have to text and be like, I'm so sorry, like I have work today, or I have a meeting tonight. And then they would get so mad at me. They were like, you're just playing with my feelings, and I feel like I don't want to do that. So then
it wasn't intentional. You just were not in the place, like mentally. Yeah,
I was just doing it when I would like get lonely. When I get lonely late at night, when Steve wasn't home because we still lived together, so he would go on dates and I would be home alone.
And he was dating too.
He was dating too.
How
So it was
crazy.
hard because.
But you know what though, that is hard. But at least it wasn't one of you dating, like you were home being sad and he was going on dates, or vice versa. Because then you would,
did you have a conversation about it though? Like, hey, okay, we're both gonna start dating.
We did, and I think that's what helped a lot because he's literally like my best friend. So we tell each other everything. So when I broke up with him, I told him I want to grow into my own self. I want you to grow into your own self. Let's date other people. I think that would be the good.
And was he okay with that?
He wasn't at first. He was like, but why do you need to date other people to figure out what you want in life? And I was like, I think because I haven't done it. Like I was 17 when I met you. Like you were my first and everything. Like first real love, first real kiss, first everything. I was like, I need to like live life a little. And then he understood afterwards, and he didn't date until like 2 weeks after we broke up. I went in like.
But that's
2
still,
days after.
That's still quick. But it sounds like you guys maybe in the back of your mind or at least for you can't speak for him, may have been toying with the thought of this potentially.
For a few months.
Yeah, so
it didn't just happen out of the blue. No. You obviously gave it some thought.
You gave it some thought, and so it's kind of like not totally, but it's kind of like 1 foot out the door already. So when the conversation already happened, there was some mental disconnection. That's why you were able to date so fast, and him too, because listen, he is his own person. He obviously dated very quickly as well, so it sounds like both of you were sort of thinking about what life might be like. He was 20 and you were 17.
Yeah.
That's very young, and both of you are in a major city and have a lot of exposure. And how was it for you? That must have been hard because your fan base and the everyone that follows you and that you inspire watched you two come together. You weren't together when you started. Then you became a partnership together, and everyone sort of liked watching his view of you, taking the pictures of you. It came from his eyes. Like, how then did you feel that was going to affect your followers and your fans?
Yeah, how do you go through a breakup so publicly?
Yeah, and it was hard. It was really hard. I didn't make it official or public to anyone till the beginning of December.
Oh,
so
wow.
we actually didn't talk about it or talk to anyone about it for a few months, for about 3 months, 2 months. and it was hard because I started blogging with him. So he became my photographer. He became my travel buddy. He became like, he's really funny without even trying to be funny. So like all my followers would love, you know, they love seeing me, but they love seeing him too. And Bruno, and they would always like, I would do videos and they would always be interrupting my videos. And, you know, he's super goofy. So he became such a big part of them, you know, as much as important to them, as much as I am important to them. So it was really hard. And that was one thing that I didn't want to talk about it, but I also didn't want it to like hide it from them, because they support me, they love me, they, you know, watch my stories, they comment on my views, they shop
And
things that I
somebody's
shop.
going through it too.
Yeah, exactly. And I wanted to really like, and I think what started when I was like, okay, I need to make it official, was that he was dating girls on social media, right? Like his friends. And there was one night that he went on a date, and then some girl told him like, you're not broken up with Lenny, like, you know, you're still dating Lenny, because I would still post him like as a friend, like as a best friend. And he's like, you're still dating Lenny. He was like, no, we're broken up. He's like, you're a liar. So I never wanted that to happen. I never wanted anyone to look at him as a bad person, because it was my decision. He's not a bad person at all. Like, he never cheated. He never, like, I never felt insecure around him, with him, or anywhere. So I never wanted anyone to have a bad look on him. So that was when I was like, okay, I need to make it official. Not really for me, I don't know if I'm ready to make it official, but mainly for him, for no one to like look at him in a bad way.
That's nice.
That's very thoughtful. And that's
very
like
thoughtful.
actual love,
That's
because
real
when you
love.
care about
Yeah.
somebody else and their reputation and how they're viewed, you're putting them first. And it's like you said, that you weren't even necessarily ready to put that out there. And also, like, what do? Do you have like a video montage? Like, what do
Yeah, how did you do it?
Like, what do you?
Well, a lot of people were like, a lot of my friends were like, do a little video. You know, it was around the same time that another big influencer, I don't know her name, but they're YouTubers, and they broke up. They made a video of, you know, they still love each other, but they both need to grow. And they were like, do that, but I hate video. Like, I hate talking on camera. I hate I was like, I'm not gonna do that. So I just did a post, like simple post of, you know, like for the first time, I did it nonchalant, like, you know, talking about what I'm looking forward in December, that I'm starting my year in December. I'm like growing, I'm planting seeds for the new year to come. And then I put it for the first time in 8 years, I'm single. And then I wrote, I got tons of DMs about like, wait, what happened? Like,
Yeah.
wait. But a lot of my followers already expected it, because I got a lot of them were saying like, oh, I thought you were dating someone else. And like, I would pose my friends. So I would pose a good friend of mine that I have, that Andy, and then they were like, are you dating him? Are you dating him? Like, why? They would ask me questions and stuff. Or I posted another guy, another friend that, you know, Rob, and they were like, are you dating him? So like every person that I posted, they would always ask that. So they kind of had an idea. So I didn't respond to any of the DMs. I read them, but I didn't respond. And then I did another post on my story saying like, thank you guys for the love and the support that you guys are giving me. Respect our privacy. Like, Steve and I are, you know, going through something right now. You know, we're not together. We've, you know, called it off. But we love you guys, and I know he means a lot to you guys. So like, I really needed to tell you guys what's going on. But give me a little bit of time. I'll like disclose more as I go, and I'm ready. And then I'm ready right now. So I'm sure a lot of them are eager to like listen to all of this. Because they've been asking so many questions.
What do you want to say? Like, what do you, I mean, you explained it all. I feel like you just said a lot, but is there something that you've been like waiting to say? Is there something that you feel like you really want to tell them, like,
Or something you learned even
Yeah,
from this
yeah.
whole thing that will inspire, you know, your audience?
I definitely learned a lot. I think what I learned, and I'm still learning, you know, like I'm going to have so much to learn. But I think the first thing that I learned through this breakup was that as soon as you don't see yourself in a relationship or even friendships, that could be with anything, the minute that you're no longer growing, and for me, growth is a big part of my life, of where I came from, where I'm at right now. Don't be afraid to let go of it. Like, if it's meant to be, it's gonna meant to be. Like, I always think of Miley and Miley Cyrus and Liam, right?
Yeah.
They're married now.
They're married.
10 years later.
She went through the whole phase of like 2 years of being extremely crazy.
Right.
I'm not saying I want to be like that, but I'm saying like you need time apart sometimes,
Sure.
from friendships, from family, from love, anything. If it's meant to be, it's gonna happen. If it's not, then at least you had a beautiful relation. That's how I think of Steve. It's like, if we're meant to be, we'll get back together. He'll do his growth, I'll do my growth. If we're meant to be, we'll be back together in a few years. Or if we're not, he gave me the best 8 years that I could ever ask for. He showed me what true love was. He showed me what I need to look in a man now. You know, as far as love goes, and like respect, and, you know, like loyalty, and, you know, putting me first and all that stuff. So I think what I learned is, don't be afraid to walk away from something that doesn't benefit you anymore, as long as even if it's hurtful, even if you're gonna go in through like, you know, you're gonna be really lonely. Like I was lonely for the holidays, and that was hard for me because, you know, the holidays are a big deal because I was always lonely for, you know, when I was in foster care. So for the past 8 years I was with him, and he always made it special. And this Christmas Eve I was alone with the girlfriend, but it's not the same. It's like not the same love, right?
Yeah.
So I learned that, you know, you need to be okay with walking away from things, even if it, you know, it hurts.
Scares you.
Yeah, if it scares you, if it's gonna be painful, the pain is gonna make you grow. And that's the most beautiful thing that I've experienced right now. Like from 3 months ago when I broke up with him to now, I've grown so much. I've learned a lot about myself, things that I need to deal with that, you know, maybe happened when I was in foster care that I never really
I
like
was just
talked
gonna
about it.
say you must have been dealing with some. Yeah. So
And also, was he the longest relationship that you like, most successful, lengthy relationship you've had? Because if you did
In your
bounce
life.
right, if you bounced around from house to house and family to family, then he became your family.
Yeah,
He-
he
yeah.
became my everything. Like he was my everything to me. And yeah, he was the longest. Like before him, I dated like high school kids, a month, 2 months, like
Yeah.
nothing serious. But he was definitely like my first love, my first everything. He became my family. Like holidays, I was with him. You know, when I went through this phase where I was like homeless, I didn't really know where to live before I went into college. Like for a month, I was like didn't have a place to stay. And we had only been dating for like less than a year. I moved in with him and his brother. You know, they opened their home to me, and then I went to college, and you know, they kick you out for winter break, and you know,
Where'd you go?
Christmas.
Yeah.
I was with him all the time, so he became my family. So it was hard to let go of that aspect of it, like the family feeling of it. But I knew that I needed to do it. Like at 20, and it's been 10 years since I entered foster care when I was 15. So it was exactly 10 years ago, and I think he patched up. He patched up a few of my wounds that I had, and I never took care of them. Like I never really fully healed from it. So I realized that now it's a year for me to grow. It's a year for me to fully heal myself alone, with no one, with no relationship. That's why I'm like not really dating right now. Like if it comes, it comes. If it doesn't, it doesn't.
I like that. Yeah.
Because I need to heal myself first. I need
So no
to,
dating apps for you then?
No, I'm not on any dating apps. My friends was like, you need to make a
She doesn't need that. She's like, people will just slip into her DMs and
Right.
she can just weed
They
out from
have.
there. Yeah.
Yeah, someone just asked me, I hope they don't watch this, but someone just asked me to a Lakers game. They're like, oh, let's go to the Lakers game. And I was like, no, I'm okay, thank you. I don't really like, you know, sports. I don't watch them. But yeah, a lot of people keep messaging
You're going to
me.
get some offers, I'm sure, but I think sounds like your head's in the right spot. You dated a little bit, and you know now like why you did what you did, and you've got like a good head on your shoulders about it. It's hard to self-reflect sometimes when there's a lot of layers there. And
And
I
the fact that you're pushing yourself to actually do it and dive in and face the hard stuff is actually quite admirable. And
not-
again, why people should be inspired
and not
by you.
exactly, and not drowning in someone else. You know what I mean? Like, okay, well, I'm just going to put all of this onto this other person, and it's easy to do that because the feeling of loneliness is a great feeling for everybody, and especially for you, because there's a lot of depth under that feeling. It's not just like, oh, I don't want to be alone. There's like, for Lenny, it's on another level.
Absolutely.
And-
And so, you know what? I think this is a really good time to talk about some things that we can do, or our audience can do, for this new year to create a situation of love, whether it's bringing it in or heightening love
Or
that already exists.
yourself.
Love
Yeah.
yourself. So we're gonna rattle off some New Year's resolutions that everyone at home so we can also, put into place for this next year, and then also talk about some of our own resolutions, because obviously I've got a fucking list.
Oh my God, you always have a list. So,
It's a
okay,
long
so the
list.
first one, resolve to take time during every week to date yourself. Whatever that looks like for you, it's basically me time. Like, I wanted to get my nails done. I want to go to this yoga class that I really like, and make it, put it in your calendar and, make it a thing.
Absolutely.
That don't just tell yourself, I'm going to do this, because I don't have anybody to, answer to, then it's fine. Actually, make yourself answer to yourself.
It's actually what I did yesterday, what we were talking about earlier, is that I was invited to spend the day with a guy who I did New Year's with. But I said, I have a lot of things I need to do today. Maybe we should do something later in the day, but I have things I need to do. One of them was go to yoga. The other one was to set intentions and spend time with myself. I have a ritual kit. I brought it out. I lit the candle, brought out the crystals, did the whole thing for me that makes sense. Spent time not distracted with my phone, with things that I think keep you from actually thinking about the hard stuff.
Yeah.
And focusing.
no distractions.
Exactly. No distractions. Then I took a bath. Then I relaxed and watched some movies, made some dinner, even had a glass of champagne to cheers to the new year. I made it a me day where I dove in headfirst into intentions in the new year.
You celebrated. You don't need someone to celebrate with, you know.
I celebrated my future. And I loved it, every minute of it.
Love
2019 started off real well. In fact, a random Indian man approached me from the street and told me all of these things are going to happen. And I was like, hello, Indian man. Happy New Year to you, too. He was very wise. I think he knew what was up.
I think he did.
So anyway, that happened yesterday. Also,
I love this one. This
Me too.
next one. I love this one so much.
we're resolving to put out old flames. So you are actually already doing that. You put out your old flame. We posted an Instagram post, I think, what was it, yesterday? 2019. The guy from the past writes you, hey, and you write, no.
No.
I don't have time for that nonsense. Gots to go. Onward and upwards.
You don't even have to be like rude about it or
No, you
whatever.
just say
Like
no.
Lenny's obviously very mature about her situation. He, you know, Steve's great. He's my person still. We love him. All of that. Like, it just recognize that when something is done and it is not serving you, do not keep going back to it. If you do, totally cool. Just know, like, you're gonna keep getting the same fucking shit over and over again.
It's the
And don't
definition of insanity, guys.
complain to all of us when you're like, why am I in the same place I was from 2017? Because you keep sailing on this ship in a circle. Like, shake it up a little bit. Go do something that scares you. Like, hello, we've got a great example right in front of us
Yeah.
that's done way more scary things than just like breaking up with somebody. You know what I mean? So
Exactly.
I love
Definitely.
the put out old flames. Like, and listen, put them out because sometimes like all you need is just some time and space, and then like revisit a thought about it. But like, give yourself a second. You know,
And listen, people say that like, oh, it's just another day. It's just like the new year is like not what everyone makes it out to be, where there's this fresh start. I personally think it is a
It
fresh
is
start.
for
It's
sure.
a reset. You literally can clear everything out that you don't want anymore because you're past the holidays, which was super busy. Basically, you did spend time apart from most people,
Yeah.
because you're with your family and doing all of those other things. So now you choose what you want in your life and what you don't.
yeah.
So old flames be gone.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. The next one.
Be open-minded. Resolve to be open-minded, especially if you're on dating apps. And you know, if you're not and you're in the real world, great. But just try to take off the judgy eyes out of your skull. Stop. You
Pull
don't.
them
You
out.
just don't know. Like, Lenny, you were with someone for 8 years. Like, you'd be surprised about who you might let enter into your life now.
Definitely. And I think that happened for me right after Steve. I dated this guy who was like, oh, that's really different. And
And
know,
it felt okay.
it felt okay, and then it got to the point where it wasn't okay, and so I made a decision to be like, okay, no, we're better off as friends. And I let him know, like, okay, I think we're
That's
better off as
good.
friends. So I think, yeah, definitely like being open-minded, but open-minded enough where like if it makes you feel uncomfortable and if it's no longer like, you know, your cup of tea, then you let them know, like, you know, we're not really working out, and be okay with that.
Yeah.
So that definitely did a lot of that. When
I
was
think
dating.
that's good though, because I think you get so set in thinking, I want this thing, and you even on a dating app, right? Like, you look at a picture or you see a job, and just be careful not to put any past things onto somebody else. Oh, I had a bad experience with someone who worked in this industry, or someone who had a kid, or so whatever. Like, it's every situation is different, and take the new year as an idea to start a new idea. Like, okay, it's a fresh start. This person's a different person than that person. Don't place my judgment onto other situations that are totally new and totally isolated from my past.
Exactly.
Exactly.
And like you said, resolve to shake it up. If
Yes.
you've never been on a dating app, now go on a dating app. Or maybe potentially ask your friends, which one do I like? And start slowly. Like, okay, if you one day at some point want to go on a dating app, you don't have to go on 10. You can go on one and say like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm going to, walk before I run. And probably you'd have a super cute profile because you have great
yeah,
photos and
yeah.
all the things. And then also the other thing is get out in the real world. Like, do things that you
If
haven't
you're-
done before.
Yeah, like if you're on dating apps and it's not working for you and it's annoying you, don't let that poison your feeling of dating. Just take a break from them and like go do something. Go out, put the phone down.
Exactly. I
Exactly.
think that's a big deal. Because for me, for the dates that I went on, like one of them had hosted an event that I attended. And we clicked very well. And then another one, I was walking Bruno. And he like approached me and kind of creepy, but it was sweet. And then we exchanged numbers and we hit it off. And now we're really cool friends. So it's like putting yourself out there is good too, because you get to meet them one-on-one. And like, you know, it can create good relationships or friendships even then.
For
You
sure.
never know.
For sure.
Next one.
You know, this is a good one, and you need to resolve to practice gratitude.
Absolutely. I think people don't do this enough.
It's hard. Honestly, it's so simple, but you don't even realize, like, when you're thankful and you say it out loud and you change your brain from just focusing on the negative things and you think like, this good thing happened and I'm so grateful for it. Like, I often think, like, when I'm exercising, when it sucks and it's hard and I can barely do it, I think to myself, my body can do this right now. And one day it's not going to be able to do it. And so I try to be grateful in the moment of pain of like, this sucks or whatever. Like, that's something that I try to do. But I mean, in general, I think it's a good thing to think about, like, everything that I'm thankful for, very, very easy little day-to-day things that you just shouldn't take for granted. And when you do that, you're in the mindset of like bringing more things like that into your life. You get in that pattern of focusing on the good.
And just appreciate what you do have versus, I mean, it's so easy and people love, like, misery loves company, where
Yes.
you get together with your friends and like they're like, what's going on with you? And you just rattle off all the negative, but like,
And that's okay to vent too. But
right. But at the same time, like, you don't really hear people saying like, I've got all this good stuff going on. Like, maybe because people feel embarrassed to like say that to someone else. Like, it feels
Bragging
like
or
bragging.
something,
But
yeah.
if anything, brag to yourself. So like, what the one thing I do every night before I go to sleep, unless I pass that out because I'm so tired or drunk, is recite my like thank yous. I like run through my list. So one of them is the fact that like I have a whole new year ahead of me. I could find all the love and stuff. So, and I have an appointment with Sean Breathwaite, our favorite astrologer, and he's going to tell me what's coming. So
Yeah.
I'm going to be thankful for that too.
I think, and Lenny, I feel like you in your situation, there's been a lot of ups and downs in your life. Like, you've always been able to remain grateful, which is and positive and inspirational.
Yeah, I think like when I talk about my life experience, they always ask me like, "Why are you so positive? Why are you so like lovey-dovey? Why are you like you're so sweet?
Yeah,
like,
what do you do?
You have
What
this
do you
light in you."
Yeah, what
You're
do you
not
tell
like
yourself?
slinging things on the
what do you
street.
tell yourself then that other people can maybe repeat as a mantra or something?
Yeah, no. I have a tattoo on my back, and a lot of people don't know that I have it, but I have. You never know how strong you are until being strong is the only choice you have left.
Ooh.
And I
Ooh, I
always
like
told
that.
myself that, and that comes with anything. And I think just knowing how like and that comes with dating too. And I've realized that right now it's like my worth. Like, I'm not gonna date someone that's below me, and I'm not saying like job wise or financial, no, like who they are as a person, because I'm lonely. And I always told myself that, like, I'm going through a lot of stuff right now, but I'm not gonna settle for less. I know I have a potential. All of us have potential in us, right? It's just a matter of like taking it out and like running with it. And I did that every day that I was in foster care. I did it when I was homeless. I did it when, you know, foster homes would tell me like, we can't have you here anymore. You have to go to the next one. I always told myself that, like, I'm not gonna settle for whatever I'm at right now. I'm not gonna settle to be homeless. I need to put myself through college. A lot of people ask me like, why'd you go to college? Did you want to better yourself? And I was like, I just didn't want to be homeless for 4 years. I wanted to have a place to sleep for 4 years.
Listen, you could have found a sugar daddy, and they could have, you know what I'm saying?
Or
Like,
you could have sold drugs or been a
You
stripper.
could have done
That's just my go-to.
whatever. Listen, if you did
That's the worst in
that's
my
fine.
eyes.
I mean, selling drugs is illegal. Being a stripper is not. And hey, listen,
But it's
good
not
for
cute.
them.
It's not
But
cute.
I'm just saying, you found like a pretty awesome path. There could have been some other things that could have happened that may not have been as awesome, but
Yeah.
like, you chose this very specific thing for you because you're an inspirational person. You want to inspire others, I would imagine.
Yeah, I think it was like the inner me telling me like, you got this. You
Yeah.
got this, girl. Like,
You can
don't
do
give
it.
up.
You
Like,
can do
yeah.
it the right way.
Yeah, you can do it the right way. And I think I ran with that. I ran with that feeling, and like, I didn't let anything around me bother me. I didn't let anything around me like being grateful. I always, like, even when I had, you know, I'm so into clothes now because I had no clothes. I had a black trash bag, and I had maybe like 2-3 pairs of jeans and a few tops that I would, you know, rotate when I was in school. In high school, and like, no one knew. A lot of people from high school, they'll message me now. They're like, Lenny, you're doing so amazing. I'm so proud of you. And they're like, I never knew you were in foster care because I never showed it. I always had
Yeah.
like a good, happy face all the time, because if I made someone else happy, I would feel somewhat happy at that moment. But that's why I'm so into clothes, because I didn't have clothes. So now clothes became, when I was able to have enough money to buy clothes, and I started working in the fashion industry, it gave me like a boost of confidence that I knew I had, but I just couldn't really work with it because I had no clothes. So it, you know, just pushing. I think for me it was my inner self, pushing myself to be
Yeah.
better. I knew I was destined for something bigger. Like, I knew that all these struggles were not going to just,
And did nothing. Yeah.
like, no.
Or destroy you. Like, there's no reason there are opportunities. You just have to work the system.
Yeah.
There is a way. It might not be the thing you want first. Like, okay, for instance, college. There are community colleges. There's you can do school.
Yeah, I mean,
And then you can transfer, but like, are you going to necessarily go to Harvard first? Probably not. Like, who can afford that anymore? I don't even know. But
still, I mean, you
the
can
fact
still,
that, the fact that you even like put yourself into school, and then you took that and you got a job and you did all these things, I think you knew that there was a path and you were going to just figure it out.
Yeah.
There's
And
nothing going to
having
stop
faith
you.
in yourself.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Having faith in myself. But even now, like this whole like breakup and stuff, I'm the one that moved out of the home. I let him keep the apartment because it was my decision to break it up. I didn't want to completely like make his life upside down. I'm the one that was from like my friend's couch to couch to couch, and then I finally have a place to stay now for about a few months, and then I'm gonna get my own apartment. Like because I knew I could figure it out. I knew that I've done this once, I can do it again. I'm actually an adult now. I have a job. I have a steady income. Like it's not where I'm just upside down. So just you have it in you. All of us have it in us.
You just gotta search and
we
find
just have,
it.
yeah, we just have to pull it out
and not be afraid.
Yeah, not be afraid. And I think when like a lot of people love focusing on the process of pain, right? Like you focus on like, oh, this hurts so much, I'm lonely, like the breakup hurts. I tend to look at the end result. Like, okay, I'm going through this pain and it's really hurtful and I feel so lonely and I want to reach out to certain people, certain guys that are not really good for me. I think of the end result. Like, okay, I need to just work it out, work through this, and then the end result is going to be me being healed. The end result is going to be, you know, either getting back with Steve because we're both fully there yet, fully where we want to be, or I'm going to find an amazing guy because I'm ready, because I gave myself the time to heal. And now I have more to provide for this guy than, you know, just being
jumping into something.
just jumping into something because I'm lonely. Yeah.
On the other side of pain is happiness.
Yeah,
Always.
exactly.
Always.
Always.
Okay, before we get into that, is like way beyond your years, by the way.
Yeah.
way beyond your years.
But
Like,
you also had to grow up quickly, so
Very.
yeah.
that benefits you.
But, I mean,
for
listen,
the
some
long
people
haul.
spiral down into something else when they're pressured to do something. You obviously didn't buckle under pressure. That's amazing. Before we get into some quick fashion things, we're going to go over some of our own resolutions. My main one is to single task for 20 minutes a day. I do too many things at once. Had a doctor tell me like I'm stressed out, concentrate on one thing at a time. So for like 20 minutes a day, I'm going to try to like only do one thing at a time.
Love it.
I like multitasking and think it's great, but like just relax, take a deep breath.
It will all
Single
get
task.
done.
Yeah,
Single
it will all
task.
get done. Yeah.
And I think that makes sense to focus and be present too.
Yeah.
It really bundles it all in
Yeah, it
nicely.
does. It does.
My main thing for this year is, well, two things. One is to say no to other things and people and yes to me, and put myself first. And obviously we talked about self-love and self-care and all of that. And I think yesterday was a really good example of that. Like I knew what I needed and I chose that over anything else, despite like in my heart of hearts or like my mind thinking like, you have to start the new year with like a relationship and strolling and going to the beach and having brunch and all these things. I'm like, no, actually what I need is me.
Yeah, that
I
was
need
good.
me right now.
Yeah.
And if I don't do this, I don't feel like I will start the year off in the mindset that I actually would hope for myself. So I made a point to do that. Also quality over quantity. I think the things, and like you're saying, like even doing for one task for 20 minutes, do something well, whether it's friendships, love, yourself, whatever it is, do that one thing well. And you don't need a million friends. You don't need a million jobs and a million projects. You just need like the right ones and to do
Focus.
those exact things to the best of your ability, because then you'll thrive.
I agree.
Thanks.
Lenny, what do you feel like is your, you probably have a lot of
I
resolutions.
have a
but
lot.
One like really prominent
Impactful.
one. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the main one for me right now is self-love.
Yeah.
Loving myself. I went on a whole like dates because I wanted someone else to love me. I needed that love from, you know, a person or a guy. And I think for me right now is just love myself. I learn how to be alone by myself, like take myself on dates. Like I've never gone to the movies by myself and I really want to go. Like Steve used to pump gas all the time, and now I pump gas. Go
I
to
love
the gym.
that. It's so simple though.
Yeah, go to the gym, do my own laundry. Like he used to do my own cooking. He used to cook for us all the time. So I've been kind of starving, or eating like not so good. Cook, for myself. Like do all the things that require me to, like take care of me.
And be grateful while you're doing it. Like I'm so
Yes.
grateful I can be cooking myself this meal, or like I have the money to be pumping this gas. or- yeah.
Exactly. So just doing things on my own without having like I'm not dating, but I'm hanging out with guy friends. I'm hanging out with girlfriends. I'm like someone invited me to a meditation class. I'm open for it. I'm open to anything that anyone invites me if I have the time. And I think if it's gonna benefit me, like the Lakers game, no, not so much. But also taking the time to love myself and learn how to grow, and like the healing process and like the loving process that I need to do a lot of, which I thought I was like really good about myself, like loving myself, but I learned that I'm not. So just doing that main thing, and I think if I do that, then the right guy will come, or
I
the
agree.
dating guy will come.
Also, when you're in a relationship for that long of time, like
God, it's so hard
you,
to like.
you lose sight of like your interests versus their interests, and like
Well, you said you guys like became one
One
person.
right. And
That's
so now you get to decide what you actually like or don't like, and what you do want to spend your time doing. Like, for instance, the fact that you said no to a Lakers game, like, a lot of people would probably say yes because they're like, well, that's a cool thing to do, and then I could post a photo from it and like whatever. But like, you're like, that doesn't benefit my life.
Yeah, I won't really enjoy it. Like the meditation class, I was like, yes, like I'm all about that. I got invited to a yoga class, and I said yes. Like hiking, and
Hey, I invited you to yoga.
you did,
And
which
you
we
did
still
not
have to
come.
do it. No, we still have to do it.
Okay, good. Well, we'll go together.
Yes.
And so obviously you're super fashionable, and
I love the story of like I didn't have clothes before and now
Yeah.
I do, and I love that. I think
Love.
that's so beautiful.
and inspiring. So that's why we need to inspire people right now to feel their hottest going into 2019, whether it be on dates or
For whatever the
themselves.
reason is, yeah.
Whatever it is, everyone needs to do them. But we need to talk about some of the trends and what people can expect to wear, or should maybe try for size. Maybe they don't know that they're going to look hot in it. Like, you're wearing some snakeskin boots, and I don't know that I can pull that off, but I might try now because you did
Sexy
it.
snakeskin is a thing. That is one of the fashion trends that we're going to talk about. So, like, if someone doesn't want to wear like a boot, what could they do? Because that is really sexy, and it's still neutral.
Very neutral. I actually was like I did not like animal print. I thought it was like tacky and like not very pretty. I didn't like it, but I went to Europe and a lot of people were wearing it, and I was like, okay, I need to give it a try. And it was during the whole breakup, so I was like, I need to be more open-minded about things. So I bought myself these boots, and I love them, and I wear them all the time, like every day, almost every day. I wear them. But yeah, if they don't want to wear boots, which is a huge statement, they can wear heels. I've worn little heels with them, or little like snake print heels, or a belt. I have a belt
good,
that's
a
the
belt.
same. Yeah, I have a belt that's the same print from Zara's. And I wear it all the time, all black or with white jeans and a black top and black heels. Like you can mix and match it. I have a little like fanny pack that's a print, like cheetah print as well, and I wear
Imagine those are back in style now.
Yes,
Fanny
Just
I
a
pack.
love
touch.
it.
Like basically you're saying if
Right.
you're not ready to put on a whole boot, which is still very cute, just a pop to like liven up your black color scheme.
Yes.
Make you feel a little sexy because it's animal
it-
print is could be
It
sexy.
makes you feel sexy, which is crazy. But yeah, just adding something to it. Like I have, or even a little scarf. Like I love wearing little scarves when like my outfit is a little bit boring, or I'm just kind of on the go, but I still want to look stylish. I'll put on a little scarf. So you
It's
can,
like flair.
Yeah, you can do a little like snake print scarf or
Frost
cheetah.
yourself.
Yeah,
Love
and then
that.
it'll look perfect.
Oh my
Okay,
God.
how do you feel about tie-dye?
No, I can't get with that.
I can't
I
either.
can't.
Sorry,
It
the
reminds
70s
me-
happened, and goodbye.
It reminds me of like 5th grade when I would do them by myself, like
Or
on
like
projects
camp,
and
When
stuff.
you
Yeah,
would make
like
the
camp.
tie dye at camp.
Yeah,
It's
I
like
can't
too
rock that.
casual.
I mean, I guess if you're like wearing a tank top over like maybe a bathing suit on 4th of July, like okay,
the
but
only
for
time.
the I can't do it, but it's a trend. I don't know. I'm not down with that one. Okay, what about cargo pants? They're coming back. I feel like it's like a bulky thing on the part of my body that is already bulky, and I'm not doing that. But like, how would you even? Can you get on board with it?
That I can't. I'm really small, which a lot of my followers think I'm actually really tall, but I'm not. I'm 5'1", 5'3" if I'm wearing heels. But
And
I
5'7" if you have a good angle.
yeah, good angle. Yes, good angle, 5'7". But I cannot get on board with that just because I'm so petite. Like
Yeah.
I'm a
It
little.
could be a body type thing.
Yeah, I think it definitely is a body type. Like I'm a little curvy, but I look curvier because I'm so small. So I've tried it, and it just makes my butt look like a diaper, and
Yeah.
it just doesn't. Like I'm just kind of drowning in the pants, so I can't do it.
Be realistic, I think, too. Like, if
About
something
your body
looks
type.
cute on, you know, some supermodel or whatever. Not that we're not. I'm just saying, like, be realistic about your height or what makes you feel good. If cargo pants don't make you feel good, don't. Okay, let's do one more. What do you think, Jen?
Puffy sleeves.
Yeah, I love puffy
Like-
sleeves. Sorry.
Like those like Romy and Michelle sleeves. I don't know why I said them.
But, like,
them.
it could be a shoulder pad like Zhivago, the Zhivago dresses.
Okay, fine. Or it could be like, the 80s.
Just a puffy sleeve or like a statement shoulder.
Definitely on board with that. I did that actually when I was in Europe. I did a shoot with that. And yeah, I think it's just all about how you style it. So if that's like a statement, you have to kind of go down with the jeans and the top. Like you can't, like that's a biggest statement. I usually try really good on that. I'm really good at that. if like this. So when I bring it down a notch with like white pants and a black top or a black, blazer. So if you're gonna wear that, make sure that your pants are either black or blue or subtle.
So
if
make
not, you're
one
gonna do it.
focal point. If you
Right.
got some
One
crazy
statement.
shoulders, try to be like a solid color. If you got some boots and a fanny pack, like try not to be wearing a whole bunch of red lipstick and a whole
Don't
bunch
wear
of shit.
it all
yeah.
at one time.
Yeah, less is more with one statement pop piece.
Exactly.
I
Love
love
it.
that. Oh my God.
Lenny, thank you
yeah.
so much for joining us.
No, thank you for having me. I had such a good time.
Oh,
We're so glad that you
glad.
could share your story with everyone and remind everyone where they can find you to see what you're up to in 2019.
Yes, Love Lenny, N Y.
Awesome. And guys, don't forget to tune in next week for our guest, Bruna, who has the amazing account Problems with Dating, and she is an author and all of the things. And don't forget to follow us at Complicated Show.
And you can follow me at Lauren Leonelli on all the social medias.
And you can follow me at Jennifer Golden on all the social medias. And we will see you guys next week.
Love you long
On time.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.